Am I the asshole for not taking a blind child to the pool? We got one last really nice warm day, and I said I would take my son and his friends to the pool this morning. When he was texting everyone, he told me one of his friends had a cousin over and asked would we be able to take her as well. I asked how old the cousin is and if she knows how to swim. He said 10 and yes, so I said of course. We get to the house, and I meet this cousin, and she is blind. Right away, I felt nervous. I was going to have 6 kids with me, and no other adults. I've always been a little neurotic about water safety. My son is a great swimmer, and so are his friends, but I've never met this girl before, and I don't know if she is a strong swimmer. I was worried that I would be constantly watching her the whole time, and that would mean I wasn't paying enough attention to the other kids. I decided to take the kids to the park instead. The kids complained, but I said there was a problem at the pool, and they got over it. 8-year-olds have short attention spans. The cousin is getting along with the boys, even though she's a couple years older. I did text all the parents to let them know where we are, for safety. The aunt of the little girl just texted me back asking me what happened to the pool plan. I texted back that I decided on the park instead. She asked why, and I said 6 kids at the pool is a lot, and the park is less stressful. She asked if I didn't take them to the pool because her niece is blind. I said 6 kids and water with 1 adult is just a lot. She said I was fine with 5, and it seems obvious I just didn't want to watch a blind child in water. I responded that even if that's true, which, yeah, it is, I just didn't want to admit it, would that really be so bad? If I'm not comfortable in my ability to keep the kids safe in water, I shouldn't supervise them in water. She said if I can't keep kids safe in water I'm a bad mom and that I was being a bitch to a 10-year-old. I like this girl, she is so sweet, but I get anxious about water safety. Am I being a bitch? Should I take them to the pool? 1 adult with 6 kids, one of whom is blind, seems like a recipe for disaster. I feel stressed just imagining it. Not the asshole at all. BTW. Acting like a child who is blind and being placed in unfamiliar environment as a non-issue, is just stupid. Not the asshole at all. You were not comfortable taking all of them, including the girl, to the pool. That is reason enough. The aunt shouldn't be pressing you on this. In fact, she should know that of course it takes more to watch a blind kid than a non-blind one when you're not used to doing it and don't know the kid. The aunt is though. This was not her call. Her pushing the issue with you was wrong. She sounds like the type to create prejudice and then complain about it. If there had been a problem at the pool I bet she would have jumped to blame you for it. She sounds awful. Am I the asshole for fully going in on achieving my career goals in response to my partner doing the same? A few months back he came up to me and told me he is quitting his job and doing a degree so he can aim towards his dream career. Great idea, but he didn't include me in the conversation at all. It's his choice completely, but I could have been more financially prepared if he told me at the start. Do a few more overtimes, maybe cut back a little on certain wants. He is working part-time at a bar 3 nights a week, so we have a lot less money and have needed to move to a cheaper area because of it for his sake. We split bills 50/50 and anything else is with our own money. I still tend to buy him dinner, drinks or small wants etc. as I'm not a dick. While our new place is a downgrade for him, it's what I am used to living in growing up. I am a lot happier with the cheaper rent. He is also spending more time in the working, studying grindset while still doing his usual daily 1-2 hour gym sessions. Meaning I have had to pick up on the housework and general to-dos of life. I have had a promotion and raise at work recently. He decided to go full on in career goals, so I thought fuck it and decided to do a few evening classes and certifications. I now have the cash to spend on it and I have goals of my own which I've had to put to the side at times over the years for my partner. If he's doing it I should be able to. He thinks I'm being selfish and doing it to spite him. He says he is doing it for us and I'm just making it more difficult for him for no reason. Sure, there's a little bit of spite, but if he can drop everything with no warning for himself then I can do the same. The bills are being paid and we have food on the table, so it's not an issue. Emo. Not the asshole. How are you being selfish? You changed your lifestyle for him, furthered your career, and you are even picking up the slack at home as he is busy. Not the asshole. But he should be supporting your advancement, not criticizing you. Not the asshole. I checked the whiny ass crybaby dictionary and apparently, you are selfish in this context means, oh shit I need to pull my weight like a proper adult and prioritize needs over wants, good luck with your studies. Not the asshole. Here's the thing, if he was really doing it for us he'd have talked to you. He's doing it for him and figured you'd just pick up the slack. You need to actually talk to him and make sure you're on the same page. Because what is his plan for the future? Will he always think that he can make unilateral decisions and you'll have to pick up the slack? Am I the asshole for taking my daughter's emotional support dog back to the shelter? My daughter is 17. I'm 47. My wife is 44. My daughter had been having problems with her anxiety and depression. School had been very hard for her and she asked us if she could get an animal for emotional support. I asked her why we couldn't just put her in regular therapy again, but she said she didn't really like her last therapist. Basically, she doesn't want to try it again. I was pretty against bringing an animal into the home as my daughter can barely keep her room clean and remember to wash her dishes, much less take care of an animal. And I absolutely refused to do anything for the dog because I work long hours and didn't want to be picking up messes when I got home. My wife said I was being unfair and that this could be what my daughter needed to get back in good spirits. So we got her a dog. We let her pick out from few select breeds, since certain breeds tend to need higher requirements for care, such as frequent grooming and other traits, and I was against getting some breeds just because of personal preference. The dog was great at first and it got along with my daughter and wife greatly. Me not so much, but it could probably sense I didn't really like it either. But then it started getting out of its leash on walks, tearing up the couch and various other toys we bought it. My daughter started forgetting to let it out, so I'd come home to find poop and pee all over the brand new carpet. I warned her twice that if she didn't start taking responsibility that the dog would be going back, and she gave me excuses saying she was feeling depressed again. She said she would do better, but didn't. Ultimately, I got fed up, so one day when she went to school I loaded the dog in my truck and told the shelter he wasn't a good fit for us. Obviously when she came home she was upset. She was saying the dog was her best friend, but I told her that she wasn't taking very good care of him, and he didn't deserve that. Wife says it was very harsh to just take the dog back while she was gone, but she agrees daughter wasn't responsible. My daughter has been saying I brought back her severe depression and we haven't been talking. Am I the asshole? Might be a hot take, but not the asshole. The animal doesn't deserve that. On the other hand, you can't ignore what your daughter has been going through. Please try therapy again, but look for a better therapist that can relate to her, as not every therapist is good and lots are way too old to be dealing with a younger generation's problems. I really recommend some of Healthy Gamer's vids on YouTube. Maybe after therapy and improvement with her depression you guys can look into getting another doggo, but depression isn't something that just gets better magically or by force or by a new pet, so this is not a solution. Not the asshole. If the dog was her best friend then she wouldn't have treated it like she did. Am I the asshole for going off on my Spanish teacher after she yelled at me for opening the classroom door? I, 17, non-binary, have Spanish in the morning from 7:15 to 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Every morning since the beginning of the school year, my teacher insists that the policy of her classroom is for her to open the door, and her only. No student shall open the door unless they're leaving the classroom. I sit right next to the door. Students often arrive to school late, and because they're late they must wait for her to open the door. No issue, right? However, she leaves students outside for 10–15 minutes at a time. No matter how many times the student knocks, she will not open the door. People end up missing the lecture and misses the instruction for the assignment. She then gets angry at the students for not understanding the lesson or assignment. Today we were going over a study guide for an upcoming test and there was a knock on the door. I told her that someone was at the door. She said they must wait. I start a timer on my laptop and wait. About 6 minutes later, the student knocks again. She said they must wait. When the timer hit 15 minutes in, she said the same thing. When the timer hit 20 minutes, I opened the door. Immediately, she starts to yell at me, telling me to not open the door because it's policy and there was a faculty meeting about it. Other teachers allow their students to open the door. I think this was a lie. She told me I disrespected her and her rules even though she constantly disrespects myself and my peers. I finally snapped at her. I told her she was a sad, miserable woman who must have constant control over us teens because she has no control over herself and her life. She asked me for my mom's phone number and I think she's going to try and call her because I opened the door and snapped at her. So am I the asshole? Edit. Yes, I am the I was out of line when I said rude and disrespectful things to her and I will be formally apologizing to her today. I have went to administration and reported her. Thank you for the feedback everyone. I will be evaluating myself and my values to improve for situations like this in the future. Op. Edit 2. I never want to not take accountability. I understand that actions have the consequences that follow, so if I was in the wrong, I would correct it immediately. I only saw a few comments that accused me of lying, and to be really 100% honest, why the fuck would I lie about this? Clout? Karma? I've always been the kind of person to seek justice for the people who cannot speak up, and this isn't the first time this whole situation had happened. The last thing I want to do is leave the problem unsolved. By acknowledging I was out of line, I was able to re-evaluate myself and really think if it was a bad move on my part. That's why I posted it. Because I was unsure of myself, and if I was, I can grow and move on. I never intentionally hurt someone and typically avoid confrontation. Everyone's opinions are valid here, no one is ever right or wrong on judgment. I teach at a university and she is a huge asshole. I don't know what everyone else here is saying. Of course she can have as many rules as she likes, but the fact of the matter is that it is a stupid rule, because it is the student's responsibility to get there on time, but also not letting them come in is not going to do anything except interrupt the class, and she can go off in her little power trip. Everyone else saying here that she is teaching them responsibility, here are full of crap. She is an overbearing lady who should not teach, inflexible, rude, and straight up puts arbitrary rules to make people hate that class. She ain't teaching you guys crap other than some people are asshole that with a little bit of power make whatever rules they want, even if they are not helpful. Not the asshole.